Hello, Winnie. It's a team effort over here. We're at 6:58.
Who are supporting and guiding us. All of our transmissions and treasures, upliftments, appointments, orders, and blessings, please activate. Please bless us to serve to the highest capacity we can serve on this
Did
day.
the recording start?
Those who
Stream?
would
Perfect. Okay.
be joining live and those who would watch recordings later. We're so honored and grateful for this opportunity to serve. We thank you. We cannot thank you enough. We ask that you please bless as well the technology and all the ways that we connect. Help us to join heart to heart and soul to soul with one another so that we may be value and showy and harmonize. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And beyond the words that come from our mouth, let us chant our Tao language. Hey,
Raj.
Hey.
Just let it go. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. And thank you so much to Cynthia Hamilton, our guest tonight, who is joining us. Thank you, Winnie. Raj, can we get me on off mute? I hear you, Winnie. Raj, am I on mute? Can you hear me on Zoom, April? Hello, 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 and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Heart Center Connection. Here at the Heart Center, we welcome everyone to share your strengths and your challenges with total freedom and authenticity. And my name is Jay Dubois. I am a professor and a men's mental health advocate. I'm really happy to join you here tonight with Cynthia Hamilton, who has over 40 years of experience guiding others toward their highest potential. She's a health researcher and an athlete. She competed in long distance races around the globe until developing overtraining syndrome. After almost giving up hope of recovery, she attended a workshop led by Dr. Master Zhigang Sha. Having experienced an astonishing boost of vitality, she turned her attention to biofield science and practices. In 2007, she reconnected with Master Sha through one of his leading teachers, Dr. Peter Hudoba, and has never looked back, certifying as a master teacher and practitioner to support others. She has been supported in overcoming life's challenges. Dr. Hamilton, welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. And Cynthia, I would love it if you would share with us, first of all, your journey to becoming a healer and what are the trials that led you to the choices that you made. Rush, Rush, focus on her.
But in terms of how I met Master Shah, as you had mentioned, that I was an athlete. I was competing on the Canadian track and field team, And it's interesting as well that you're down there in Los Angeles. And it was an exciting time because the 1984 Olympics was the first time that women were going to have a marathon in the Olympics
Oh, wow.
and also a 3,000 meter in the Olympics. And at that point, the marathon was my best distance.
Mm.
So I was, things were going along well. I was the national champion for Canada for 2 years in a row, 82 and 83. I went to the World Championships, and the next year, of course, was the Olympics. But I developed this overtraining syndrome, which meant it led to some erratic performances, which is not a good thing when you're preparing for an Olympic trial. And as it turns out, I did not qualify for the team that year. But Canada sent a great group of athletes to that competition. But of course, it was a huge disappointment, even though, my goal had been to compete for my country, and I did that the year before. But as an athlete, if you have other athletes listening, the Olympics is kind of the pinnacle. And it was hard to sit out. And it didn't turn around quickly either. This overtraining syndrome. And back then, even they didn't have a name for it. The sports medicine physicians didn't know how to help. And even
Can you
today,
tell us
they
a little
don't
bit
know.
more about what it is and what the symptoms are and how, like what I've never heard of it before. I've imagined many of our listeners haven't either.
Ah, yes, right. Okay, so even just the words themselves, overtraining syndrome. So the symptoms are individual, but in general, it leads to inconsistent performance. You're putting in the same effort, and your times or your performances are going downhill. And it can also affect your mental health because, you can become depressed. You're
Mm.
still training hard and you're putting in that effort and you're working toward a goal, and something, has gotten in the way of that. It can affect sleep. It can affect many, many areas of life. It can affect relationships because, things are going along smoothly, but then all of a sudden, they're not going well. And then, of course, that affects your relationships as well. Your partner may not know how to support you.
Mm. So, how did you come from this, this incident where you had overtraining syndrome? How did you turn this around? Like, what was it exactly? You talk about meeting Dr. Shaw. Tell us a little bit more about how this happened and what this looks like for you.
Well, yes, that was definitely a huge turnaround in my life in many, many ways. But in terms of the overtraining syndrome, because I could not find the help I needed, and I did try other things. I tried chiropractic, which was also considered quite leading edge at that time, nutritional supports, and whatever else I could find, and nothing worked. And over the period of, I tried but actually, I was almost losing hope that I would ever find something to help me. 10 years had gone by.
Mm.
And that's when I was introduced by a friend to Dr. and Master Zhigong Sha. He was in Vancouver and he was teaching a Qigong course. And a
Mm.
friend of mine mentioned it, oh, there's a Qigong teacher in town. There's this course. And it was 5 days a week, 2 hours a night. And I missed one of them, but I had such a huge boost in my vitality that it just all of a sudden woke me up. Because at that time I was also doing my PhD studies, my graduate studies, and in the biomedical physiology and kinesiology department. And there was nothing in any of the research or any of the books I read that could explain what happened. So it not only affected me in terms of, waking me up to something that that I could do to help turn around this situation, but also coming from a research background. At that time already, I had in my research study, there were people who were affected by rheumatoid arthritis, which is a chronic condition, a very painful chronic condition, which medical science at that time could help to manage, but could not cure. So, it's kind of turned a little light bulb went off. Hey, this helped me. Maybe this could help people with rheumatoid arthritis. Maybe this could help people with cancer and other of the chronic diseases. So, when I turned my attention to the biofield sciences, in effect, I was opening the door wide, almost jumping out the window. Because I knew that what conventional research in medicine had to offer was not enough.
Mm. So Dr. Master Shah helped you and you wanted to help others. So what exactly is your focus when you turned out to help others? What is the nature of your practice?
Time has gone by, and the life challenges keep coming up. The life comes up with another challenge and then another challenge. I have been in the recent years, since just before COVID hit, actually, a caregiver of two family members. And so at that time, I was a master teacher in the Master Shaw Center in Vancouver, and we were asked to develop a program. And so, because this is something that had benefited those I was caring for, and also me as a caregiver, there were a lot of people taking care of family members. Apart from professional caregivers, of course, people in the healthcare practitioners, it's very stressful work. And so I had that experience of being a caregiver and having those I was caring for helped by it, and also me as the caregiver. And so I developed this program. I called it at the time Heart to Heart Empowering Caregivers and Your Loved Ones. And it evolved into Heart to Heart Supporting Loved Ones and Strengthening Relationships, because this is what I found was most important, not only to those who I was serving, but also to myself. Because when we're serving others, I don't know if you have family members that maybe have challenges in their health. And you're also using the techniques and the practices of Master Sha, and they're helping you. But maybe your family member is not ready to do that. But we can receive for instance, these Solite herbs for them, and we can practice for them. So the group that I developed, it has two aspects to it. It has the aspect Master Shah teaches. The purpose of life is to serve others, to be happier and healthier. So we focus on serving the loved one. So the caregiver that comes to the group, and we are serving the loved ones. That's one aspect of it. And the other is it is helpful both for the loved one who is benefiting from the service, but the caregiver is in the field while they are serving others. So and of course there's also the community aspect, which is so important. And interestingly enough, what's happening is the relationships between the caregivers and those they are supporting are being strengthened.
So can you? So I understand that you work with this healing the family as well as healing the individual. So can you tell us a little bit more about the techniques that you use and how can our listeners and our viewers tell what is theirs versus what belongs, what is ancestral, what is comes from their family lineage?
Okay, well, that's a very interesting question, and what I love about Tao science and the law of Shen Jing is that um, we don't have to know all of the reasons for everything. There is a lot of research going on right now, and it's very hot topic. There's a super conference right now on trauma. There's a lot of research going on intergenerational trauma, and especially it's been shown in animal models actually that there is something to it. In humans, it's a little more difficult because the lifespan is a little bit longer. There is a study, the Harvard adult study that started back in 1938, I believe. The longest running study, and they're into the second generation now. And they found that happiness and the sense of well-being, the self-rated well-being, depends on strong relationships. This was the most important thing. And so if you can just run that question by me again, I'll just see if I just kind of went off
Well,
track there a little.
I think you more or less answered it. I asked about how people can tell what is theirs. When we encounter a blockage, for example, or a difficulty in our life, a pain, how do we know when that comes from us and when that comes from our family? It seems from my review of the work that you do that there's this shift in family dynamic that you're seeking, and I wonder if you have some examples of this and sort of how people navigate sort of what's this, what is mine versus what comes to me through my parents, my mother's side, my father's side, my lineage.
Hmm. Okay, well, good question. Well, the general answer comes from the law of Shen Jing. And I don't know if you're going to be going through that today. I like the way that Tao Science puts it. Everyone and everything is a field which carries information, energy, and matter. And matter is the level of the manifestation. So it's the manifestation in our physical bodies. It's the manifestation in our relationships. It's the manifestation in our finances, our business, all aspects of our life. So the short answer to your question is if something is come up in to my attention that is mine to deal with. Now, if we're in a family situation, and I have been in this situation, and various family members can be going through various things at different times. Um, Definitely, I know in my own family situation, working with the techniques of Master Sha and the 10 greatest qualities has been super, super important.
Mm.
Because if we can love one another unconditionally, we are all human. We all make mistakes. And are you a parent? I don't know, Jay. Are
Yes,
you a parent?
I am.
Yeah. Okay. You've probably gone through the situation where if you have adult children where they can be pretty critical of the way you parented. So it can be very humbling. So we have to have greatest love, greatest forgiveness for one another for things to go well, greatest compassion for our suffering. And I know this has been something really difficult for me to watch your children suffer. And this is also one of the good things about the work of Master Sha is it provides a way to help. When my daughter went off to college and she would call with something distressing that was happening, she was away, she was on the other side of the country. It was so comforting to have a way to actually serve her from a distance. That not only helped her, but also helped my heart as a mother to help me to stay grounded and to know in my own heart, this is what I can do. And of course, it's not like mom can fix everything,
Don't we wish?
because the children, as they grow and they develop, then they develop their own ways of coping and dealing. But it's wonderful to have these ways to support them along the way.
Mm, thank you. Okay, so I have one more parting question for our viewers before we leave. Um, People are curious to know if if we want to stop passing certain patterns forward, how do we begin? We all have these ancestral patterns, and we're talking about parenting and having a lot of forgiveness and creating a lot of compassion and space and love around the parenting on both on your child and on your end, but um, for in your opinion, what is the best way to stop carrying these ancestral patterns, these karmic patterns forward?
Well, I would say two things. One is when you become aware, and I don't know if you're familiar with the work that Dr. Rulin does, aware, when you become aware of something that has come up. I know in my own case, and I've had a tendency in my past to want to stuff it back down again.
Mm,
That's just too painful. But when you become aware of it, if you can then just sit with it, become aware and then feel it. And this is one of the things we do with our heart. We feel it. We um, become aware, you feel it. And then this is what Master Sha teaches. N+1
mm.
positive field transforms N negative dimension field. He talks about dimensions, and I actually like this sort of thing. It's science talk. It's one of the programs that I offer once a month at the moment. Modern physics meets ancient wisdom. We actually were talking about dimensions and fractals in our last session. But N+1. So in other words, and even Einstein talked about it. You can't solve a problem at the level it was created. So we had to reach for the higher frequency and vibration. And this is where Tao calligraphy comes in. And the Tao calligraphy light wall and other Tao technologies to help connect to that higher frequency and vibration, the higher dimension. And as Master Sha teaches, the soul is the boss. It's not going to be something we figure out with our minds. We're going to have to solve the issue at the soul level.
I'm so glad that you bring up awareness. It's perfect timing, because we here at the Heart Center have a technique based on our own observations of what helps us with releasing patterns. So so I find it fascinating that you name the first step as becoming aware, and of course, this becoming aware practice is the first step to our own ARC structure, our own ARC framework. The second step is, of course, release. So once we become aware of the pattern, we want to release it. We want to no longer pass it forward. And so we're going to do some practice here tonight around that. But before we do, and then of course, just to complete the circle, in the ARC, the next step after release is to choose better patterns, to choose more wisely moving forward. So it's right in alignment with what you said. I'm so glad for what you had to share. Before we move on to the community share portion of the evening, where can we find you online if we want to learn more?
Well, hopefully you've got the Unified Field BC, my webpage on the Unified Field BC. You can find me there. I also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, a LinkedIn page. My LinkedIn page is more focused on the research aspect, and I actually really I'm so glad that you're doing this work, and Winnie is a practitioner, and I'm hoping that more and more practitioners will integrate this work into what they're doing to
Mm.
help support and bring up the service that they can offer to their clients. Um, so yeah, various ways. And this weekend, as a matter of fact, if you're in the Vancouver area, British Columbia, uh, the Unified Field BC, myself and other of the master teachers will be at the Vancouver Wellness Show at the Vancouver Convention Center on Saturday and Sunday.
Great, thank you so much, Cynthia. I wonder if there's anyone in our community who has anything that they'd like to share, any insights that they gained from this portion of the show tonight, or just anything that's come up so far.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Winnie Chan Wang, I believe it is.
So, Cynthia, it's so exciting for me to ask you this question because you specialize in working with what we call generation trauma and how this negative information is passed down from one generation to the next. So recently, I observed that a lot of the condition, for example, cold hands and feet, right? It's like, okay, maybe someone in my parents have it, and maybe someone in my grandparents have it. I also observed yesterday in conversation with someone, she told me, "Oh, Winnie, I have rheumatoid arthritis and I have so many autoimmune." And I wonder if you can shine a light because to me, autoimmune is me attacking myself. So, how do you help people from your area of expertise when they speak negatively about themselves, like, oh, I'm so dumb, or I'm so fat, or, I'm useless, or I can't do this, I'm always stuck, that's number one. And then with, the cold hands and feet, it's just like this, like keeping it really, really tight, everything just really tight, instead of like an expansionary energy, it's like a contraction energy. um, Maybe it's from survival, right? Like maybe the parent, the grandparent, the great grandparent have to escape war, or, as a refugee, and this kind of information got passed down. Like, what would you say to the person with cold hands and feet, or what would you say to the person with the autoimmune situation?
Well, first of all, of course, I'm not a medical practitioner. I lead meditations. And so I would never give them medical advice. But we have been trained through Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha to one of the things that I really appreciate about the traditional Chinese medicine with the five elements is the way that emotions are into the physical. In Western medicine, it's more and more common to hear about psychoneuroimmunology and all of the interconnections between the nervous system and the organs, etc. The gastrointestinal system is more and more recognized that these things are interconnected. But the beautiful thing about the leading the meditations is that we don't have to know all of this information, which is, we want to get out of the head and into the heart. So generally speaking, um, in the group setting especially, is, we do check in, etc., and we encourage one another, but we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about the issues, because what I find is that as soon as as soon as we ground and get into the meditation and connect to the field, all of a sudden all of those words kind of fall away. And it's not like purposely cutting someone off or anything like that. it's more like helping, because nobody wants to be stuck there anyways. It's more like just, experience it. It's like what Master Shah just, he offers so many ways for people to experience, just come and experience it. And when people have those shifts, then they want to know more.
Mm, perfect. Okay, so I'll hand it back to you, Jay. I feel like you can lead us into an experience of aware, release, and then choosing a different mindset.
Thank you so much, Winnie, and thank you once again, Cynthia Hamilton. You can find the links to Cynthia online on the Zoom chat, and also we will post it on YouTube when we post the podcast itself live. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your insight, and I just want to lead us in a little exercise here tonight in the ARC and Winnie and I's method that we talk about. That, of course, is influenced by Dr. Master Shah and influenced by our work with our clients doing healing one-on-one. So let's all, whether you're seated or standing, come to a pause, looking inward for a moment, taking a deep breath, making sure your spine is straight and your shoulders are over your spine, your ears over your shoulders, and bringing up any pattern that you are bothered by, that you engage in for whatever reason. And don't get into the story. There's no need to spend a lot of time in the story. This is just an opportunity, a moment to bring up this pattern that you have that you'd like to release. So the first thing is we become aware of what it's doing, of where it is, especially in our body. So it's good to be aware of how it's affecting our lives and how it affects our behavior, perhaps. But most important is to become aware of how it affects our physiology. So when we bring this pattern that we have to mind, where do we feel it in our body? Where does our field feel cold or heavy or somehow blocked and slow? So this is the aware part of the exercise, right? We're becoming aware of how this pattern affects us physically, where we wear it inside our body, where we wear it in our lives, but also how we feel it, how we embody it. Good. And once you have this, once you understand how your bodily connection works here, I want you to feel into exactly where it is in your body. And then begin to, we haven't officially opened the field yet of the 10 Tao calligraphy light wall, but begin to allow the field in. Begin to allow the breath to penetrate wherever this is blocked. And calling upon the greatest love, Tao calligraphy. The one sentence secret for the greatest love is that it melts all blockages. So open your heart to the greatest love and breathe the light into wherever this blockage is in your body, in your field. So you've identified a pattern. Perhaps it's ancestral, perhaps it's personal. Doesn't matter the story. Where is it in your body? Connect with that and begin to allow the light, the acceptance, and the awareness to melt the blockage. So we're going to do some practice here. We're going to start with Qigong. So begin, whether you're seated or you're standing, I want you to begin by just catching and receiving and pushing away. Capturing and pushing away. So this is, in martial arts, this would be a block, right? But I'm doing it as a Qigong movement, so we're becoming aware, and then we're allowing it to melt away. And then we're capturing, we're becoming aware, and we're allowing it to melt away. We capture an awareness, and we move to the side. We capture and move to the side. So we're allowing, we're introducing some softness, some receiving into our physicality through our Qigong practice. So anywhere that is stiff or painful or cold is a blockage, is blocked within us. So we want to find this not to single it out or eliminate it. That's not the point. The point is to become aware and bring attention and awareness into this area. And by bringing attention and awareness, the transformation already begins. And then we have layers and layers of tools that we can use to release the blockage or whatever it is that's getting in our way. So next we're going to just roll our head gently, because we often have stiffness in our neck, stiffness in the way that we receive the outside world. We like to control what is coming in, and we like to be in command. We like to be able to understand everything that happens and say yes or no about whether it should get in. And so sometimes we develop a stiff neck from not receiving, not accepting. And so we just allow the movement to open us up. And now rolling our shoulders in big circles forward, breathing deeply, nothing too heavy, nothing too loud, just allowing the breath to fill our lungs, allowing the energy to move where it needs to go, rolling the shoulders back. And now sort of hanging like a puppet from between our shoulder blades. So as though someone is holding us from above, and we just swing from this angle. We just gently feel some bounce and some swing. Opening our chest, putting our hands together behind our back and joining them, and then bending forward at the waist like a hinge, stretching our arms up, our shoulders, eliminating or at least relieving some of the blockages. And then we open our arms and we lean back, opening our chest and our throat, just allowing more spaciousness to enter. Again, becoming aware of what is in our body and releasing wherever is blocked, wherever feels stuck. So I'm going to encourage all of us to start with, we call these liver rolls or hip circles. So just gently making circles with our pelvis, starting with big circles, opening a lot of space, focusing on our hips and wherever we're stuck, make sure you change directions. And so now, at this point, we're going to enter the shoulder. So we're opening the hips, and now we're allowing also the shoulders to swivel, and therefore creating this lever with our spine that stretches us from hip to shoulder, and just allowing all of this space to enter wherever we're blocked. And now allow the movement to guide you, whatever you need, wherever you're blocked. Allow the movement to lead you to open. So for example, I have a spot right here. None of the stretching we've done so far has quite gotten to the spot, has quite opened it. So I allow my body to lead me in opening this place, whatever it needs. However this looks, it doesn't matter. You're stretching, so I have this counter position stretch so that I can get all the way down here, and then I bend. Oh, and it feels amazing. Whatever this is for you, allow your body to lead your movement for this moment. Opening up, releasing. So the A in ARC is awareness, and we've been talking a lot about awareness. And hopefully this exercise, this Qigong exercise, has helped you become more aware of where the blockage is in your body and how to begin to release it. But of course, as Cynthia also already introduced, and as Winnie often talks about, there's a deeper layer of release that we can get to by using or by connecting with, by practicing with the Tao Calligraphy light wall. So we all know, we've talked about the Tao. The Tao is this nameless force. It is everything in existence, and it is the motive force behind everything in existence. The Tao is, you can't be seen, it can't be heard, it can't be named, and yet it is in everyone and everything. So we work on a weekly basis with Tao calligraphy. Cynthia and Winnie talked about Master Sha being the originator of Tao calligraphy. But what is it exactly? Tao calligraphy is oneness writing. It is Master Sha opens a field in the Tao to the quality of what he is painting, and creates a portal of energy to that quality. So for example, when we work with the greatest forgiveness calligraphy is a portal to higher dimension energy, higher frequency energy of the greatest forgiveness. If you want to get deeper into dimensions and how this works, then I strongly recommend that you follow Cynthia, or you follow Winnie, or you follow Master Sha. But for the moment, at this level, what I would like us to do is just at a basic level, connect with the Tao Calligraphy light wall field. So Raj, if you could put the Tao Calligraphy light wall up behind me. And of course, the Tao Calligraphy light wall field is organized into 10 calligraphies, and each calligraphy is connected to one of the 10 Da. The 10 Da simply means the 10 greatest qualities, the 10 greatest attributes. And these 10 greatest attributes are the greatest love, the greatest forgiveness, the greatest compassion, the greatest light, the greatest humility, the greatest harmony, the greatest flourishing, the greatest gratitude, the greatest service, and the greatest enlightenment. And so we connect often with one, or sometimes with multiple, and sometimes with the whole field, the whole 10 Tao Calligraphy light wall field. We connect with the field and we release what it is that's blocking us. And it is these blockages that affect us at the bodily level. And Winnie, I wonder if you would come on for a moment and briefly explain for us the law of Shen Qi and how all of this works.
Wow, I think this is so great because, guys, I'm at MIT campus and I wonder if I can find the chalk. Let's have some fun, shall we? Because, MIT is the leading institute for science and technology. And I love that there's like equations right above me, and now I'm gonna add to that the law of Shen Qi. All right, so, oh, not this one. Shen, Qi, and Jing. Can you see it? Here.
Yes, we can see the board. It's a little bit far away, but that's better. We can also give you the graphic if you need a bit.
Oh, yeah, why don't you give me the graphic? So, the Shen Qi Jing. Ways we can experience and then so the mind is a processor of information, right? So the mind is like the one that receives the information, right? So if I send a text message right now, and you send communication. So what is soul? The soul is the warehouse of information. That means the content, the storage, right? So there's basically two kinds of information. And I do have a computer science degree from MIT. And the world is basically encoded in binaries, ones or zeros. Zero means the circuit is broken and I press the button and it does not conduct electricity, right? So basically, negative information is disconnection. So anytime I have a thought that's me, oh, nobody loves me, nobody appreciates me, I don't feel appreciated, I don't feel heard, I don't feel loved. Okay, that is negative information. Or it might be like, I can't figure this out. Or, AI is too hard. Or, this job market is really hard. Right? So if you think job market is really hard, that's negative information. If you think AI is really hard, negative information. If you think that, oh, I'm an Asian woman living in America, you think you're at a disadvantage. If you think that you're an international student is a disadvantage, then that is negative information. In fact, today I coach one MIT student, right? So I am mentoring MIT students and they're like, oh, I'm an international student. And right now with AI and all these companies on hiring freeze, it will be impossible for me to get a summer internship. I said, well, there's two sides of every coin. This is how I would pitch myself. Because I am an international student, I can understand global markets. not only do I understand how markets work in America, but I also understand how markets work in Asia. Because I am bilingual, that means at a young age, I am trained to process double the amount of information. That means in the age of AI, I can pivot faster, I can learn the new AI technology faster than all of my competitors, right? So now I basically gave hope to this international student who has no status. And, I said, if you look on the bright side of every coin, then you can be the greatest Tao promoter of yourself. And, if your heart is fully open to the perfection of your Tao, right, then you are absolutely unstoppable. There's nobody who does not want to hire you. There's nobody who doesn't want to listen to you. There's nobody who doesn't want to give you a platform for you to serve humanity. Okay, so isn't that so exciting, right? So imagine positive information is basically this idea that I am unstoppable. Tao is unstoppable. You know what's unstoppable? The sun and the moon, right? The sun is always, how do you say, orbiting? Or no, not orbiting, but it's like the sun rises and sets every day. Apologize for my English. And the earth rotates around the sun 365 days, and the moon, have new moon, full moon. The moon doesn't get stuck and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to be new moon for another 48 days. No, the moon doesn't get stuck. And the sun doesn't say, oh, today I don't feel like rising. I'm just going to stay at sunset forever. Actually, the Tao keeps moving. And this is the value of the greatest humility, right? One of my favorite things to teach the MIT students is that, hey, you be soft, okay? If you're an international student with the current president, you do not fight, okay? The soft can overcome the hard. The water, by having no shape, can seep in through the cracks between two hard rocks. The water can nourish everything along its path, right? So I coach these MIT students. I said, if you do not expect anything in return, and you simply come from, I want to share the totality of my gifts with humanity, there will be a way for you. And so I'm so delighted to be able to transform on a very practical engineer level the negative information that they perceive in this era, ERA, so I apologize my English, era of AI and the political climate also. So I hope I answered the law of Shen Qi Jing, that basically negative information creates negative outcome, right? So if he believed that I'm an international student, the government doesn't like me, I'll never get the visa, and no one wants to hire because right now we have AI, then it leads to a negative outcome. Before the job interview, you already lost.
Yeah.
You don't even have the connection to yourself. How do you want to make connection with your employer?
Right. If you decided that
But
you failed before you
if
go
you have
in, how are you
positive
going to
information,
No.
I am here to serve, then the positive information will lead to positive outcome. So did I sufficiently answer your question, Jay?
Wow, as they say.
You're on mute.
Oh, thank you. I'm on mute according to Winnie. Can you hear me now?
You're still on mute. Oh, here we go. You got it.
Okay. So wow is what I said. Thank you so much for that answer. That was very in-depth and Very welcome. Thank you so much, Winnie. And I am guided today to work with the greatest light. And actually, I'm being led to give 2 demos at the same time, one remotely and one in person. So Bettina, if you would come online, and April, if you would come stand next to me, please. So heaven has chosen April and Bettina. And we're going to do a practice with the greatest light. So Raj, if you can put the calligraphies on as well in the background or in the foreground. So we're just going to take a moment here and again, come back into practice together. Let's take a deep breath together, deeply inhale. Winnie, if you could say something or
We can hear you now,
okay, great.
but there's no visual calligraphy. That's okay. We can.
Would you like to lead the
If
practice?
Okay. Okay, 1 second. I will do it. 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I will start by singing. Tenda, tenda.
April, you center on those marks.
Tenda, tenda. 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 tender, tender, tender. Okay, so now the tenda field is open. Extremely grateful. So, greatest light. Okay, so the one sentence secret is that the greatest light transform all light. The greatest light transform all light. The greatest light transform all life. So close your eyes. Before we go into the demo, I just want to bless everyone that is watching in person and online. The greatest light transform all life. The greatest light transform all life. And I want you to join me, but say it with feelings. Master Sha teach, emotionalize your gratitude. So really feel the greatest light in every cell, which is trillions of them, every bone, ligament, tendon, DNA, RNA, organ, tissue, every layer of your soul, heart, mind, energy, body. Say it with feeling. The greatest light transform all life. The greatest light transform all life. The greatest light transform all life. The greatest light transform all life, and allow the gratitude to release all the negative information that is in the liver. I see a lot of liver blockage. Okay, the greatest light transform all life. 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 Go deeper into the gratitude. The greatest light transform all life. The greatest light transform all life. I'd like everyone to put your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your liver. And we're going to direct all this healing to April and beloved Bettina. So say your name 3 times.
Can you remind everyone where our liver is, Winnie, please?
And allowing whatever is blocking your liver.
That's your liver.
What I'm feeling is this idea of frozen, like the cold hands, cold feet, but like literally you're frozen in some aspect in your life. We're actually going to do the greatest forgiveness first. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant greatest forgiveness. Greatest forgiveness. Visualize golden light when you inhale, and exhale, visualize dark gray smoke shooting out of your liver. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest forgiveness.
Greatest forgiveness.
And now we're gonna move, let's see, the left hand on the liver and then the right hand on the right hip. So I want you to imagine the reason why you feel frozen might be because you don't feel safe to move on. Exactly. So allow the greatest light to come in to restore the connection. So instead of this feeling of what we call liver chi stagnation or feeling trapped or stuck, the liver is actually made for freedom. Okay, so I want you to imagine that the sense of safety. It is safe to be free. 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 And you're just going to feel this freedom in your hips. Ah, yes. Feel the freedom in your hips. Feel the freedom in your hips. Feel the freedom in your hips. That's it. Okay, now we're going to do it with the greatest light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant the greatest light. Greatest light. Again, inhaling, visualize golden light from the greatest light calligraphy coming into your body and transforming all the stuck, frozen energy. And exhale, visualize all that numbness, coldness, stuckness, just leave like dark gray smoke. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest light. That's it. Okay, now we're going to actually physically set ourselves free. So what we're going to do is we're going to stomp the right foot, okay? So I want you to imagine all the times that you were frozen, that you were stuck. No more. You're going to stomp it out, okay? So on the greatest light, we're going to stomp the foot, and we're going to do it like this, okay? So greatest light, okay? So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest light. And a moment of silence. I invite you to put your hands right around your hips, grounding yourself. feeling a sense of safety in this sacred temple that is your body. Silently repeat, I am divine. 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 And take a deep breath in and out. You can stay in this condition or slowly open your eyes. So I'm going to close the wall. How. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Gong song, gong song, gong song. Okay, so welcome, Bettina and April. Say a couple words. You know, both of you know what this is about. Was there something that you were stuck or frozen on, and how do you feel about this practice, and what do you feel now?
Oh, Winnie, this is April. Can you hear me now? Can, can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. Beautiful practice. I don't want to open my eyes, just to be in that very, very peaceful state. It's lovely. I feel my liver is clearer. Um, and I'm just grateful for this practice. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you. Heart Center LA. Yeah. Thank you.
A release from that I'm unable to handle this. I was really so stuck, and yesterday I had a bad experience because if I had a phone call and I was accused, but I didn't it wrong, and now I feel I have to let go that fighting mode, and I let it go. I did let it go, that fighting mode, and feeling stuck, and I feel now better, but I said, I am divine, I am divine, I am divine. and there is still struggle if I can handle this. I feel much better, and the practice was great, and I have lack of trust that I can handle this situation. Because last year I had the same issue. I had to pay myself all the additional costs. And now this year it appears again. And therefore I'm so also angry about it. And therefore I don't know whether I will have the capacity. I think it's really now an act of communication and something like that. But I feel like there's an animal. This carries this house, and I feel so unsafe. But the
How has the
practice
practice
really,
changed how you feel?
the practice changed that I stop fighting. Fighting is no way to do this. And I feel I have to communicate, but I'm still feeling overwhelmed to do this. Okay, this is all my words now.
Thank you so much.
And I feel really, really
Make sure I'm unmuted. Thank you so much, Bettina. Thank you so much for your share. Thank you so much, both you and April, for receiving this practice tonight. I wonder, Kat, if you would be willing to come on for a few minutes and just talk about. I saw some things in the chat that your situation has changed since last week. So, and you received a demo recently. So, I'd love it if you would come on and share with us what's going on, what's developed. Giving Kat a moment there to get connected.
Oh, hello.
Yes. Hello, Kat. Welcome.
Excuse that. um, yeah, no, I did send a message. Yeah, so my birthday is on Sunday, and I was gifted funds, and so it's enabling me to attend the Master Shah event in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm by chance 2 hours away, so I'm elated, and yeah, that was very, very unexpected and auspicious.
Mm.
hmm
And how
I'm
long
very
ago
grateful.
did you receive a demo here?
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was last week, right? So that's
Yeah.
wonderful news. And I look forward to meeting you in person because I also will be in Fort Lauderdale. So
Oh, will you?
it'd be great to meet you there. And thank you so much for joining us and for your
Yeah.
willingness and your engagement with the practice.
Well, thank you. I'm very grateful. Since I found this, I simply look forward to it. Thank you all.
Look forward to meeting you. So
And I'd
anyway,
like to say
oh yes,
that
Winnie, thank you.
I'm extremely for the opportunity to serve Kat, Bettina, and April. And I just want to take a moment to thank Dao, because if you remember, my earlier question was about cold hands and cold feet.
Yes.
And it was about the self-attack and how that causes challenges in our lives. And, what Bettina shared is that she's fighting, right? Like she let go of the fighting. And, I just cannot thank this practice enough because how easy it is to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale, let go of that fighting. Let go of the cold hands and feet, let go of that frozen, let go of the hip pain, right? And I met someone else today. He was born in Iran, and then as a refugee at age 5, he went to Sweden, but then because he's not Swedish, he was discriminated against in school. He would get good grades just because he was not white. And so all this trauma is actually affecting his spleen, stomach, his digestion. And so even though, it's like sometimes people are like, well, why can't I lose weight? Why do I have a little non-flat belly even though I diet and exercise and log my calories in my workout? It's because there is stories that are stored in the body. And to practice this Tao calligraphy light wall, it is the most, to me, sacred and easy way. Instead of dwelling on, what happened in Iran and Sweden, it's just inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, let go
Yes.
of the pain and the suffering. So if any of you are interested, and as you can see with Beloved Cat, it's like, she was the demo last Wednesday, and then this week she already received $4,800. And we're so grateful for all our demos and all of you loyal people who come back every week. We're so grateful to Cynthia for sharing with us her journey, her story, and all of her wonderful things she does for the Sha Research Foundation. I just cannot thank you enough. And if you'd like to join us, so Heart Center, you want to tell us about how they can refer their friends to Heart Center Connection and also the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall practice?
Yes, thank you so much for asking, Winnie. Thank you so much for leading that practice, for that beautiful moment that we all get to share of release. And I want to thank you and thank Master Sha, thank April, thank Bettina, and thank Cynthia for joining us tonight. So we have a limited offer, which is if you sign up if you sign up 5 people, you get 3 free Tao Calligraphy Light Wall practices in the morning. Every weekday we meet at 7 a.m. for this Tao Calligraphy Light Wall practice. It is far more in-depth and thorough than the practice that we lead here at night. At night here on Wednesday, we have a demo of the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall practice. But every morning we start our day, every weekday morning we start our day with releasing all of what's blocking us, all of what came up yesterday. And there's been a lot in the air lately. I don't know if you've noticed. And we release it every day so that we start off our day fresh, we start clear, we start with a blank slate, and we can make positive choices from there. You can find that practice at breathing.heartcenter.la. And if you sign up 5 friends, you can get 3 free Tao Calligraphy Light Wall practices. And just want to bring us together briefly for a moment here at the end. In honor of all of the angels and guides, all of the saints, all of the heavens teams who've joined us here today, just would like for all of us to take one more collective moment where we breathe in each other's frequency, we breathe in the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall, we come together as one before we go off into our lives. May each of you go forward in peace and love and harmony. And may each of you be carriers of this vibration into the world. May each of you experience the highest levels of love, peace, and harmony in your lives. Thank you all. Love you all. We meet here every week at 7 p.m. For Heart Center Connection. You can find us at heartcenter.la/connection. We meet at 7 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday evening for Heart Center Connection. And if you have an idea for a guest that you think would be great to come on, you can email us at heartcenterla1@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you have a suggestion for a guest or a suggestion for a topic, or if you have a problem coming up in your life and you'd like us to talk about it this week. We would love to do that. So again, you can email us at heartcenterla1@gmail.com. And you can find our website at heartcenter.la. Again, the breathing practice is breathing.heartcenter.la. We really look forward to joining you next week at the same time, same place. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you all, and good night.